My brothers and sisters, let me teach you something today. Comfort is not your friend, it is your prison. You think you're resting, but you're rusting. You think you're pausing, but you're perishing. Comfort is a powerful force. It wraps around you like a warm blanket on a cold night. It tells you to stay put, to rest a little longer, to avoid the hard things, the scary things, the unknown. Comfort whispers sweet lies that make you believe you are safe. But I'm here to tell you today that comfort can be your greatest enemy disguised as a friend. Yes, comfort feels good, but it is only a fleeting pleasure, growth. That intense, sometimes painful, but glorious process is what truly feels better, what truly makes your soul alive. Now listen carefully. Your body, your mind, your spirit, they were not created to live in comfort all the time. They were created to grow, to stretch, to be tested and refined like gold in the fire. The natural state of life is not ease, it is motion. Movement is the heartbeat of growth, and growth demands that you leave behind the safe and familiar for the unknown and challenging. Science agrees with this spiritual truth. Neuroscience teaches us about a process called neuroplasticity, which is the brain's remarkable ability to rewire itself, to create new pathways, to learn and adapt throughout your entire life. But here's the key. Neuroplasticity is activated only when you face challenges. When you are comfortable, your brain stays in the same old patterns, the same safe circuits. You become a prisoner of your own comfort. You stop learning, you stop growing, and worse, your dreams begin to wither. Think about it. When was the last time you truly grew as a person without being uncomfortable? Growth is never painless. It stretches you beyond your limits. It forces you to confront your weaknesses and overcome your fears. It pushes you to take risks that make your heart pound and your hands sweat. And it's in those moments, when you feel the discomfort, when you want to quit, that growth is happening, but comfort sedates. It numbs you, it makes you complacent. It convinces you that just getting by is good enough. It tells you that it's better to stay safe than to fail. It tells you that doing less is better than trying harder. It tells you that dreams can wait. And before you know it, days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years. And those dreams, they're still just dreams, locked away in a box you're too scared to open. You see, comfort is a trap disguised as a resting place. It feels like a reward, but it is actually a slow poison. It kills your ambition, your creativity, your hunger for more. And here's the harsh truth. If you live in comfort all the time, your life will become small, predictable, and insignificant. You will never discover the vastness of your potential. You will never experience the thrill of victory that comes only after the struggle. So, what do you do? How do you break free from comfort's grip? First, you have to change your mindset. You have to redefine what you consider good. Comfort may feel good, but growth feels better. Growth is the fire that purifies your character, sharpens your skills, and strengthens your faith. Growth brings purpose. Growth brings meaning. Growth brings you closer to the destiny God has for you. Second, you must be willing to step into discomfort. You must be willing to embrace the unknown, the uncertain, the difficult. This is where faith comes in. Faith is not just believing in God when things are easy. Faith is walking forward even when you cannot see the whole path. Faith is trusting that on the other side of discomfort, there is a better you waiting to be born. And here's the beauty. When you start to walk in faith, when you begin to choose growth over comfort, your mind and body begin to adapt. The fear that once held you captive begins to lose its power. The pain that once paralyzed you becomes the fuel that propels you forward. The challenges that once overwhelmed you become the stepping stones to your breakthrough. It is not easy, and it is not always quick. But the life of comfort is a life of small dreams and missed opportunities. The life of growth, though filled with challenges, is a life of abundant blessings, great victories, and divine fulfillment. Remember this, God did not create you for comfort. He created you for greatness. He created you to be a warrior, not a worrier, a conqueror, not a complainer. Your purpose demands more than what comfort can offer. Your dreams demand action, risk, and sacrifice. So I challenge you today, when comfort beckons, do not listen. When ease tries to lull you to sleep, wake up. When fear tells you to stay where you are, move forward. The road will be rough, the journey long, but the destination, your destiny, is worth every step. Comfort feels good, yes, but growth feels better. Growth brings life, growth brings victory, growth brings the fulfillment of dreams. Now go and live like the champion you were born to be. Your dreams are not dead. No, they are not buried beneath failure or forgotten by time. They are alive, but they are suffocating. They are trapped, choked by the very routines and habits that you have allowed to become your daily existence. Too often, we look at dreams that have not come to pass and say, well, my dream died. But what actually happens is more insidious and more painful. Your dreams are being slowly squeezed, not by the harsh winds of failure, but by the gentle pressure of complacency. Routine can be the silent killer of destiny. It creeps in quietly, wrapping your life in habits that seem harmless, doing the same thing, waking up to the same schedule, thinking the same thoughts, walking the same paths. And day by day, it chokes out the fire that once burned bright inside your heart. It tells you this is enough. When your spirit screams, it's not nearly enough. It tells you to be content with where you are, even if where you are is far from where God called you to be. This routine, this daily grind, this cycle of sameness, it is the thief of dreams. It does not shout or storm into your life. It tiptoes in with subtlety. It convinces you to trade boldness for comfort, to exchange passion for predictability. And slowly, the dream that once kept you awake at night, the dream that made your heart race with excitement, becomes a distant memory. The routine cages your vision, dulls your purpose, and lulls your ambition to sleep. Many people make the mistake of thinking that dreams fade because they are too big or because they fail. But the truth is often more tragic. Dreams fade because they are starved of action. Dreams die in waiting rooms, in comfort zones, and in the endless cycles of I'll start tomorrow. They are suffocated not by impossibility, but by postponement. God did not create you to live a life of pause. He created you for movement, for momentum. Every great story in Scripture is about people who stepped out of their routine. Moses left the comfort of the palace to lead a nation. David stepped out of shepherding sheep to face giants. Esther risked her safety to save a people. These stories teach us that destiny demands a break from routine. But breaking routine is not easy. Routine feels safe. Routine feels manageable. Routine feels like home, and the human heart fears leaving home. We get comfortable with the familiar, even if it is not fulfilling, because stepping into the unknown requires faith, courage, and risk. Yet if you want your dream to live, you must fight against the pull of routine. You must refuse to allow your dream to be caged by habit. You must disrupt your day, your thinking, your actions. Change the patterns that keep you small. Ask yourself, what am I doing today that will break the chains of routine and breathe life back into my dream? One of the greatest enemies of dreams is procrastination. A child of routine, we convince ourselves that there will be a better time, a better opportunity, a better moment. But time waits for no one. The longer you wait, the more your dream fades into the background noise of your life. What you tolerate today, you empower tomorrow. But here is the good news. Every day offers a new chance to break the cycle. Every sunrise is an invitation to rewrite your story. You have the power right now to disrupt the routine and start acting in alignment with your dreams. This is how you revive what's been suffocated. This is how you bring oxygen to your vision. Your dream needs action like your body needs air. Without action, the dream will suffocate. You don't have to leap across the canyon in one bound. Start with small steps, consistent efforts that pull you out of the comfortable cycle. Start by changing one habit, making one call, learning one new skill. Movement creates momentum, and momentum fuels faith. Another reason routine kills dreams is that it breeds complacency. Complacency tells you that what you have is good enough, even when you know deep down it's not. It quiets your soul and dims your passion. Complacency is the whisper that says, you don't need to try harder, you don't need to aim higher. But your dream is bigger than complacency, and you were made for more than mediocrity. You must also guard your mind and your environment from the traps of routine. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, who inspire you, who refuse to settle. Feed your mind with books, podcasts, sermons, and stories that ignite your passion. A dream suffocates in an environment that tolerates complacency and celebrates stagnation. Remember, the enemy's goal is not just to make you fail, but to make you stop trying, to stop fighting, to stop dreaming. Do not give routine that power. Every day you choose to disrupt the patterns that hold you back. You are declaring war on suffocation. You are giving life back to your dream. Finally, know this. Your dream has a timing, a season. But that season only comes after you break free from the chains of routine and step into action. Your dream doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It waits for courageous effort. Don't let your dream die quietly under the weight of routine. Rise up, shake off the chains of habit, take bold steps even when it feels uncomfortable. Remember, dreams are not buried in failure, they are suffocated by routine. Your future depends on the choices you make today. Choose to live intentionally. Choose to act boldly. Choose to breathe life back into your dreams, and watch how God, who sees every tear and hears every prayer, will open doors you never imagined, restore hope, and bring your dream from suffocation to celebration. God does not call us to stay comfortable. He does not call us to sit still in the boat while the storms rage around us. No, God calls us to stretch beyond what we see, to step out in faith, and to walk on water. The call of God is a call to motion, a call to growth, a call to transformation. Yet, so many people hear that call and respond with hesitation, with doubt, with fear. They settle. They settle for less than what God intended because settling feels easier, safer, and less painful. But settling is not God's plan for you. Settling is a refusal to embrace the divine challenge. It is a decision to remain small when you were created to be great. It is a decision to ignore the voice inside you that says, there is more. When God calls, He calls you to stretch. To stretch your faith, your courage, your commitment, and your vision. Think about the story of Peter. Jesus called Peter out of the boat. Peter was comfortable. He was safe. He was with friends. But Jesus said, come. And Peter stepped out of the boat and walked on water. That is the essence of God's call, to step out where you cannot see the solid ground, to trust the one who calls you, and to walk in the impossible. Stretching is uncomfortable. Stretching is risky. Stretching exposes you to failure, to criticism, and to uncertainty, but it also opens the door to miracles. It is in the stretch that God's power is revealed. It is in the stretch that faith grows stronger. It is in the stretch that you begin to fulfill your destiny. Too many people choose to settle because they fear the pain of stretching. They fear rejection, failure, and disappointment. They fear the unknown, but the truth is, the pain of settling is far greater than the pain of stretching. Settling stifles your soul. It suffocates your purpose. It steals your joy. God did not create you for comfort. He created you for purpose, and purpose requires movement. It requires action. It requires stepping into the unknown with faith as your foundation. God calls you to trust Him enough to stretch, to move, to grow. When you choose to stretch, you invite God to work in your life in powerful ways. You demonstrate your willingness to obey, to follow, and to believe. And God responds to that willingness with His power, His provision, and His presence. Stretching also requires discipline. It requires a commitment to keep moving forward even when you don't see immediate results. It requires persistence in prayer, in study, in work, and in faith. God honors those who honor the process of stretching. You may feel like your faith is too small, that your abilities are too limited, that your resources are too few. But God's call is not based on your limitations. It is based on His unlimited power. When God calls you to stretch, He also equips you to stretch. He gives you what you need to walk on water. So don't settle for the boat. Don't settle for what's comfortable. Don't settle for the easy path. God's best is always beyond the boundaries of your comfort zone. God's blessings are found in the land of the stretch. Remember, the difference between those who fulfill their dreams and those who don't is often just this: the willingness to stretch, the willingness to step out in faith, the willingness to obey God's call even when it doesn't make sense. You are called to be more than you are today. You are called to live a life of purpose, power, and promise. But that calling demands that you stretch. It demands that you move. It demands that you trust God enough to step out of the boat and walk on water. So today, I challenge you, don't settle, don't stay comfortable, don't let fear keep you anchored. Stretch, step out, move forward, and watch how God will meet you there, empower you, and lead you to the destiny He has prepared for you. Your greatest miracles are waiting on the other side of your stretch. Your dream is waiting for you to stop settling and start moving. Your purpose is calling you to walk by faith, not by sight. Stretch, stretch with faith, stretch with courage, stretch with obedience. And experience the miraculous life God has called you to live. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It is the invisible force that disrupts comfort and builds destiny. Comfort invites you to sit back, relax, and take the easy road, but discipline demands that you rise, work hard, and stay focused. Even when it's uncomfortable, discipline is not popular, it is not easy. But it is essential if you want to see your dreams become reality. Too often, people confuse discipline with punishment or deprivation. They think discipline means denying themselves pleasure or living a joyless life. But discipline is actually the pathway to freedom. It is the daily choice to prioritize what matters most over what feels good in the moment. Discipline is the ability to delay gratification, to say no to distractions, and to keep your eyes fixed on the prize. Comfort is the enemy of discipline. Comfort lulls you into procrastination, excuses, and complacency. It tells you that rest is better than effort, that now is not the right time, or that you deserve a break before you even start. But discipline breaks through that lie. Discipline forces you to get up when you want to stay down, to keep going when you want to quit, and to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. The journey to your destiny is not paved with ease. It is paved with sacrifice, persistence, and hard work. Discipline is the fuel that keeps the engine running when motivation fades. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the flame that burns long after the spark is gone. If you rely only on motivation, your progress will be inconsistent and short-lived. But if you cultivate discipline, you build momentum that carries you through the toughest seasons. One of the greatest challenges in developing discipline is overcoming the lure of instant gratification. We live in a culture that demands quick results and immediate pleasure. We want success overnight, rewards without work, and comfort without sacrifice. But true greatness requires patience and perseverance. Discipline teaches you to wait, to work steadily, and to trust the process. Discipline is also about consistency. It's not the occasional burst of effort that changes your life. It's the daily, repeated actions done with intention and focus. Whether it's waking up early to study, practicing your craft, or making healthy choices, discipline is the commitment to show up day after day, no matter how you feel. God honors discipline. The Bible is full of examples where discipline leads to breakthrough. Joseph was disciplined in prison long before he became a ruler. David disciplined himself in the wilderness before he became a king. Paul disciplined his body and mind to spread the gospel despite persecution. Their discipline paved the way for their destiny. If you want to build your destiny, you must embrace discipline as a way of life. You must be willing to make sacrifices and endure discomfort. You must refuse to let comfort dictate your decisions. Because comfort keeps you stuck where you are. Discipline moves you forward toward who you are meant to be. Discipline is not just about working hard, it's about working smart and with purpose. It's about aligning your daily habits with your ultimate goals. It's about prioritizing what truly matters over what is merely convenient. It's about setting boundaries and saying no to anything that distracts you from your destiny. It takes courage to choose discipline over comfort. It takes faith to believe that the hard work you do today will bear fruit tomorrow. It takes vision to see beyond the present moment and trust that your persistence will pay off. But discipline guarantees that the seed you plant will grow into a mighty tree. Remember, every great achievement in history was built on discipline. There is no shortcut to greatness, no easy path to success. Only discipline can break the chains of comfort and propel you toward your dreams. So I challenge you today, develop discipline in your life. Set your goals clearly. Create daily routines that support your vision. Hold yourself accountable. When comfort calls you to stop, let discipline be the voice that says, keep going. When you feel like giving up, let discipline remind you of your purpose. Your destiny is worth the discomfort. Your dream deserves the effort. Your future depends on the discipline you cultivate today. Discipline disrupts comfort, but it builds destiny. Now rise up. Commit yourself to discipline and watch how God will use your obedience to open doors, bless your efforts, and fulfill the purpose He has placed in your heart. Faith is the currency that buys your breakthrough. It is the trust that moves mountains and the force that propels you beyond your comfort zone into the destiny God has prepared for you. Stepping out of comfort is not easy. It requires courage, determination, and above all, faith. Faith is what gives you the strength to leave behind what is familiar and step into the unknown with confidence that God will meet you there. When you are in your comfort zone, you are standing on safe ground. It feels secure. You know what to expect. But God's best is almost never found in the safety of comfort. It is found in the wilderness of uncertainty, in the stretching of your limits, and in the risk of obedience. Faith is the bridge that connects your present comfort with your future fulfillment. Many people hesitate to step out because they are afraid. Fear whispers lies that paralyze you, lies about failure, rejection, and inadequacy. But faith speaks louder. Faith says, I may not see the whole path, but I trust the one who made the way. Faith is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward despite fear. The Bible is filled with stories of faith leading to fulfillment. Abraham left his homeland without knowing where he was going, trusting God's promise. Noah built an ark in the face of ridicule, believing in a future flood. Moses confronted Pharaoh, trusting God's power to deliver. These heroes did not stay in their comfort zones. They stepped out in faith, and because of their faith, they experienced God's fulfillment. Stepping out of comfort requires action, but it is faith that fuels that action. Faith is what makes the impossible possible. When you trust God, you are not alone in your journey. His presence goes before you, preparing the way. His power strengthens you when you feel weak. His wisdom guides you when you face decisions. Faith also changes your perspective. It shifts your focus from what is comfortable to what is possible. It helps you see beyond present circumstances to the future God is creating. It allows you to hold on to hope when everything around you suggests giving up. But faith is not passive. It requires risk and obedience. It means saying yes to God's call even when you don't have all the answers. It means stepping out of the boat like Peter and walking on water, trusting that God will hold you up. It means moving forward one step at a time, even when the path is unclear. The journey out of comfort and into faith is a process. It begins with a single decision, a choice to believe that God's plans for you are greater than your fears. It continues with consistent actions fueled by that belief, and it culminates in fulfillment, the realization of dreams, the completion of purpose, and the experience of God's abundant blessings. Faith also strengthens you in the waiting. Sometimes stepping out means entering a season of preparation, growth, and testing. It may feel like nothing is happening, but faith trusts that God is working behind the scenes, shaping you for what's ahead. Faith endures, knowing that fulfillment comes in God's perfect timing. Stepping out of comfort with faith is a declaration. It says, I am ready for more. It says, I trust God to lead me. It says, I will not settle for less than God's best. It is an act of courage and worship, showing God that you believe in His promises. Remember, comfort is temporary, but fulfillment is eternal. Comfort may feel safe, but fulfillment brings joy, purpose, and peace. Fulfillment is the reward for faith in action. So today, I challenge you to step out of your comfort zone with faith as your guide. Trust God's promises even when the future looks uncertain. Take that first step, and then the next. Keep moving forward, knowing that God's hand is upon you. Your fulfillment is on the other side of faith. Your breakthrough waits for your boldness. Your destiny is calling you to trust and obey. Faith is the key that unlocks the door to your dreams. Step out in faith and watch how God will meet you in the wilderness, carry you through the storms, and lead you into a life beyond your wildest imagination. Step out of comfort. Step into faith. Step into fulfillment. So now, hear me clearly. Comfort is not your friend when it comes to fulfilling your dreams. It's a thief that steals your passion, suffocates your vision, and lulls you into a life far less than what God intended for you. But God is calling you out of that comfort zone. He is calling you to stretch beyond your limits, to embrace discipline, to break free from routine, and above all, to step out in faith. Your dreams are alive, but they will never breathe fully until you disrupt the patterns that hold you captive. You were created for more than comfort. You were created for purpose, for greatness, for destiny. It's time to rise up and reject the easy path. It's time to choose the road that challenges you, shapes you, and prepares you for the victory God has promised. Remember, discipline will carry you when motivation fades. Faith will propel you when fear threatens to stop you. Stretching beyond your comfort will unlock doors that you never even knew existed. Your destiny is waiting, but it requires action. It requires courage. It requires that you move even when the ground is uncertain. Don't allow your dreams to die quietly in the shadows of routine and complacency. Fight for your future. Fight with discipline. Fight with faith. Fight by stepping out boldly, knowing that God is with you every step of the way. Your comfort zone may feel safe, but it is a prison for your potential. Break free today. Choose discomfort. Choose growth. Choose the abundant life God has for you, because when you do, the dreams that once seemed impossible will become your reality. The life you once only imagined will become the life you live. And the world will see not just a survivor, but a conqueror. A person who refused to let comfort kill their dreams. Get up, step out, move forward. Your destiny is calling. Answer the call. Amen.